back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about something that is plaguing entrepreneurs. It's called the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome isn't something that only affects entrepreneurs. There have been studies done, articles written that show that up to 70% of the population actually experience this. As an entrepreneur who works with a lot of entrepreneurs, I have this imposter syndrome conversation almost daily with my clients, and it really is a form of self-sabotage. And why it matters so much is because it can affect everything in your business. It can affect how you grow. It can affect the amount of money that you're bringing in. It can affect whether or not you start a business at all. I want to help you identify what kind of imposter syndrome you're experiencing. But before we dive into that, I do want to delineate between an identity issue and imposter syndrome. Sometimes we can have these thoughts of, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. And while those are not good thoughts, it's not always imposter syndrome. Sometimes that's just an identity issue. It's a self-confidence issue. It's a self-efficacy issue. It's a self-worth issue. Completely different topic. I'm happy to do a video on that another day if you want me to. Imposter syndrome is this underlying fear that the world is about to find you out, that you are impersonating someone else, and all of the accolades that you've achieved, all of the successes, all of the wins, it doesn't matter how big your track record is, you are telling yourself that that's not actually you. You are a fraud showing up as a successful person, and all of those, awards and everything that you have gotten, all of the successes really belong to someone else because you're a fraud showing up, and now the world is about to find out at any moment. That is imposter syndrome, and that's what I want to address today. Now, this can show up in 5 different ways, and I want you to take a minute, go get a pen and paper, pause this video, because I want you to take some notes here so that you can figure out which one of these is mostly you when you are experiencing imposter syndrome. So I'm going to start off with number 1, which is the natural genius. This is the one that I most identify with, and I've definitely felt this on many different occasions. This type of imposter syndrome rears its ugly head for people who feel like they need to learn everything fast. That if it takes them too long to learn something, then it's probably not for them. They're going to walk away, they're going to quit. Or they will judge their competence, judge their abilities based on how quickly they can learn something. They use a lot of shoulds. I should know how to do this already. I should learn how to do this quicker. And if they don't feel like they are operating at a pace that makes sense for them, then they will feel guilty, they will feel shame, they will feel completely incompetent, and a lot of times they just end up quitting. The next type of imposter syndrome is going to be the perfectionist, and I feel like this is probably where the majority of people are going to lie, at least the majority of the people that are my clients. They want everything to be perfect. If it is 99% of the way there, it is still a failure because it's not 100%. Everything must be perfect in order for it to launch or to be released or whatever the case is. The next type of imposter syndrome that can show up is in a person who feels like everything has to be done all on their own. So it's kind of like the perfectionist, but a little bit different, because for the soloist, they think that if they ask for help, it's going to reveal all of their weaknesses. If they ask for help, then they're not actually self-made, and they can't claim to be self-made when they're asking for help. So therefore, they're going to be a fraud if they do that. So that's why they take on an overwhelming amount of work that is really unnecessary because they feel like they just need to do it. Imposter syndrome can also show up this 4th way, which is feeling like you need to be better than everyone else. This is the superhero syndrome, right? So you are going to work longer, you're going to make more money, you're going to do everything more than everybody else, because if you don't, then people are going to realize that you're not actually who you say you are. So you need to prove yourself by giving all of this external work or all of these external achievements. Otherwise, your insecurities and all of your weaknesses are going to be revealed, and people are going to find you out. The next kind of imposter syndrome I want to talk about is actually a conversation I had yesterday with one of my clients, and it's this concept that I need to know everything, about every subject matter, about every topic within my industry before I start showing up for it. Otherwise, people are going to know that I don't know everything, and then they're going to find me out, and they're going to start coming at me, and I'm going to get all these hate comments. It's like this really interesting fear that says, if I don't know everything, then I'm not going to show up as anything. So now that you've heard the 5 different kinds of imposter syndromes and how they can kind of manifest into your entrepreneurial experience, let's talk about 5 ways that you can actually combat imposter syndrome. Okay, so starting with number 1. First is going to be to identify it, which you already have. So I believe that self-awareness is half the battle. Once you know what it is you're dealing with and you can identify it, then it's no longer like the big bad wolf. It's no longer the boogeyman, right? It's revealed, it's in the light, and then we can deal with it where it is, and we can create strategy around it. And hopefully these next 4 tips will help you do that. Number 2 is going to be, instead of focusing on yourself, right, focus outwardly. Focus on serving other people. Because the thing is that the reason why you're an entrepreneur, the reason why you want to do the things that you want to do is because you want to help people in some capacity. Whether you create an app that's going to help people get organized, whether you are a business consultant and you want to help large organizations, there is somebody out there that you are meant to help. If you focus on helping them, doesn't matter where you are in the process, then it really helps you take your mind off of the fact that, you are new or you are not quite as seasoned in this entrepreneurial space as you'd like to be. We all start at ground zero, but if you focus on helping other people, then you're not focusing on your own insecurities. And so that is a really good thing. This leads me to number 3. When you are helping other people, I want you to make specific note about how they are telling you that you have helped them. Testimonials are great. You can ask for them, but a lot of the times, if you really helped someone accomplish a goal, if you've helped make their life better in some way or their business better in some way, or you've given them some really good insights, some really good tips, they will give you that feedback. They will say, this is so helpful. Thank you so much. And getting all of that feedback from them really helps you understand how valuable what you have is when you bring it to the table. What I do is I keep a lot of the testimonials and things inside of just a folder that I have in Google Drive. And yeah, I use them for my website and everything. But anytime I'm experiencing a little bit of imposter syndrome, sometimes it's really good to just go back to the stories that they tell about how I was able to help them. And so I recommend doing that. I just think that it's really good to see in real time how you are helping people in whatever capacity you're helping people. Number 4 is going to be some personal development work in the form of affirmation. So I love affirmations. I teach my clients how to do affirmations and to really stand in who you believe or desire to believe that you are. And what you're doing when you're doing that is you're just really reprogramming your subconscious mind to tell it a new story. Because so often we create narratives in our heads that are completely untrue. The other day I was talking to a client and she was giving me all of these reasons why she could not be visible. One of them was that she was afraid that nobody was going to listen when she showed up. And I said, well, have you shown up yet? And she said, no. And I said, so you just created a story that people weren't going to listen, but you haven't actually done it and you have no evidence that this is going to happen. And we do this all the time. We tell ourselves these stories to really keep ourselves playing small. And so I want to encourage you to dream bigger, envision yourself bigger, and then create affirmations around what bigger looks like. So you can create affirmations around your business. I am a successful business owner. They can be even specific. I am a well-known, world-renowned, New York Times best-selling author. I mean, you can make it as specific as you want or as vague as you want, as long as you truly start to believe it. That's what matters the most. And we have to talk about this. It is having a support system, because as an entrepreneur, it is not uncommon to be the only entrepreneur that you know in your inner circle. And with entrepreneurship comes a whole nother level of understanding about how things are operating and what life looks like and how to make money, and the mindset is very different, or the mindset should be different, because it's just different all around. Not to say that it's good or bad, I'm just saying that it's different. And when you are experiencing imposter syndrome in this area and you have no one else who is understanding what you're going through or has been through what you're going through, then it can seem very lonely, like you're living in a silo. So I encourage you to get some support. I am always going to recommend having a coach in your corner. I've had the same coach for the last 4 years who has been on my team, by my side, working with me in my business to grow and expand my business to where it is now. And I'm very thankful, because there are always times at every point of expansion, you will hit roadblocks, right? The first time you make $10,000, it's going to be great. You're going to want to celebrate, but then you're going to hit imposter syndrome and say, oh my gosh, can I do this again? Is this even possible? It's going to be like the sophomore album problem all over again. The first $100,000, the first $1 million, it's the same thing over and over again. And if you don't have a support system in your corner, it can feel very lonely, and I don't want you to have that. So find a coach, find a mentor, find a community that can be a support system for you as you are growing your business, and for those times where not only you're experiencing really great wins, but also when you're experiencing some pretty low lows. So there it is, imposter syndrome in the shell of a nut. I hope that that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this, because I can always do follow-up videos, or if you have any other video topics that you want me to discuss a little bit further. I am happy to do that. Thank you all for being here, and I will talk to you soon. The light keeps changing. Why are you changing, light?